wrong way.
Am I going this way?
Yeah, you're pointing it, towards yourself. We're getting ready to start here, folks. So we have those who are waiting patiently.
And yours is cold.
Okay. All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ken Driley. I'm with the Public Affairs Office here at the National Training Center in Fort Irwin. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to the beginning of the 10-year anniversary Run for the Fallen. I'm actually the only one that was here for the first one that's here today. I will tell you, it was an interesting time. When Mr. Bologna called me up and first pitched me the idea, I'm like, you're gonna run from Fort Irwin to Arlington, Virginia. And I wasn't really sure they'd make it, but they did. And we started off, it was a very small starting ceremony, but it ended up that from basically Barstow to Arlington, Virginia, every day, somebody was talking to those guys, and that story and the story of the soldiers made it all the way across the country. Every night it was on the news somewhere. So, I mean, it was an amazing thing. And so when George came to me and asked about doing it on the 10-year anniversary, I was like, absolutely, let's do this. So, first I want to go ahead and start off, and if we can have a prayer.
Hello, my name is Richard Williams. Cheyenne Rappo. I was asked to do a prayer today, so I'd like to do that now. Thank you. Well, hey, thank you, Grandfather, for allowing us to come together in a good way, bringing each and every one from far and near, all the helpers, bless all the runners, and all the people we're going to be meeting. And again, give us strength to carry on. Pray that we never stop praying. Pray that we continue to watch over our young people, our loved ones, our elders, each and every one. Bless our military, all the different branches, the men and women that are past, present, future. Ask you to watch over us and look down on us at this time in a good way. Thank you, Grandfather. Well, hey, aho, sinetena.
Thank you very much. Colonel Crumrich, our garrison commander. For those of you who are in the military, the garrison commander is basically, he's the mayor of this town. And with all the associated problems that come with it. But sir, if you'd like to say welcome.
I would. First, for the entire community, on behalf of General Broadwater and all of the families that are here, all the soldiers that have been stationed here, and all the soldiers that have trained out here, thank you for what you're doing. Remembrance is a critical part to what we do. I can speak for myself and the rest of the Green students standing here today. We've stood by way too many ramp ceremonies downrange. We've been to way too many memorial services here, and we understand the gravity that comes with remembrance and what it means not to just us, but also to the families and those that have passed. So we're extremely happy to be able to start the Run for the Fallen here at Fort Irwin, because we understand the gravity that comes with it and how important it is. What I find amazing about this is that we're doing this 10 years later, and it's grown, and it really has great backing, and that has a lot to do with George, Susan, your entire team, all the runners that are going to come out and run. It's just phenomenal. So thank you for what you're doing, because that's coming. You're representing us. You're representing those that fell before us, and there's a lot to be said for continuing that tradition. I hope it only gets stronger in the future, and we look forward to hosting these in the future. Anything we can do to help. So we'll see you there tomorrow morning. A number of us will be there ready to go. I can't promise I'll break the sound barrier, but I'm going to do my best. Ooh. Maybe I will. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you, sir. The next, Mr. George Lutz, President of Honor and Remember.
What an amazing opportunity it is to be here. Boy, I don't even know how to start. As Ken mentioned, 10 years ago, actually on Flag Day of 2008, the first Run for the Fallen was launched from Fort Irwin on a journey to Arlington Cemetery. John Bologna and a small team of about 6 people started from here, ended up traveling 4,100 miles for 3,800 heroes at that time. That was the battle casualties in Iraq and Afghanistan up until 2008 in that moment. And every mile they stopped and called out loud the name of a fallen service member, regardless of branch. And so 10 years later, John and I have known each other now for these many 10 years. Our mission as Honor and Remember was actually to leave a national symbol of remembrance, the Honor and Remember flag, as a way to recognize and appreciate for the public all those that gave their lives from the beginning of our country's history. And you can see we have this mighty wind that's leading us, as we get launched over this weekend. And so we joined forces, and together we left a symbol across this nation of remembrance. As a Gold Star father, I understand one of the most important things we can do, that this nation can do, is recognize the sacrifice of our men and women, and to be able to have some way of appreciating that, some way of saying thank you, some way of letting these families know that their loved ones did not give their life in vain. And so the importance of that is that, you may have heard the expression that an individual can die two deaths. There's a physical death, and then there's the death when the last person who recognizes and calls out your name dies themselves, is when you're forgotten. And I think that it is our mission as Americans to make sure that we remember every one of those who preserve our freedom every single day. And so what we've done is we've taken the beginning of this, of the War on Terror, which we have identified to be the USS Cole, the attack on the USS Cole, October 12th of 2000. And we have identified every fallen service member, regardless of cause of death, not just in theater, but regardless of cause of death, and have identified a number that is close to right now, as we leave, 20,000 service members. So we are running for those who died while serving or died as a result of serving, including those who have died from the hidden wounds of PTSD. It is going to be one of the most comprehensive fallen veteran tributes ever compiled. I don't know of any organization that has tried to literally call out loud, identify and call out loud every one of these names mile after mile. So our journey is a little bit longer than it was 10 years ago, when then we were running for 3,800 and now 20,000. We've expanded our reach to 19 states for 120 days, over 6,100 miles. We're starting here in the morning of April 7th, and we're going to be ending in Arlington National Cemetery at 2 o'clock on August the 5th. This is going to be a phenomenal undertaking. We have a crew of 8 that will be traveling the entire 5 months, and then we will be engaging runners, many that are here with us, that will be running in relay style format, a day after day, about 10 hours a day for the entire 5 months. We have 12 rest days in 5 months. But other than that, we are running hard every single day. Why? Because that mission is to make sure that we call out loud every one of those names. This has been in the planning stages for 2.5 years. So you can imagine the enormity of organization that has taken to get to this point. One of the things that we're going to be doing as well is we're going to be broadcasting this live. As long as there is a signal, there will be and there is a live feed, you will be able to sit at your computers, at your desks, at home, and hear us honor these service members 1 mile at a time. The families who are not able to attend their mile, and many are traveling thousands of miles just to get to their marker, will be able to watch and listen as we call out their loved one's name. Not only that, but we're going to be recording each of those miles. So if you miss the live feed, you'll be able to see a video of that mile so that it's not missed by anyone. Again, the organization behind this has been incredible. Now let me tell you a little bit about the runners. You know, the 2 years that it has taken to get to this point, you know, the graphics and the permits and the escorts and the food and everybody that's involved, it doesn't mean one thing without the runners. If we do not have runners on the ground sacrificing their own bodies and running those miles, and believe me, it is grueling to keep the pace that we're running and run to that, and at the end of that pace, stand there emotionally drained and read the names of those that are dead and had given their lives for the freedom to run that mile. I cannot tell you how emotional that is. I've heard from runners that have been involved in some of our state runs that this is the most significant and impactful event that they have ever participated in. So not only are they running at a pace of 9 to 10 minutes a mile, but they're carrying 4 full-size flags. And hopefully we have enough runners to carry 4 flags. In many cases we may not. But it is my hope and my prayer that we are able to carry 4 full-size flags every single mile. What are we carrying? We're carrying the United States of America flag, right? Our stars and stripes. Why? Because we're running for our fallen Americans. We're carrying the state flag that we're running in. Whatever state that is, 19 states, we'll switch over the flag of the state that we are having the honor of running through. We're going to be carrying a special flag that was created by our organization last year on 9/11, on the 15th anniversary of 9/11. It is a special flag that honors fallen first responders, our fallen police officers, and our fallen fire and emergency. It's called the Honor and Sacrifice flag. Why are we carrying it? Because our police officers and our fire departments in every jurisdiction across America are going to be protecting us. They're going to have our backs here at home. They're going to be escorting us in the front and the back. And we want them to know that their selfless service is not forgotten. So we carry that flag in honor of them. We may not call their fallen brethren out loud, but we carry it in honor of them. And the 4th flag we carry is a flag that we created as an organization that is meant to be left as a legacy in this country, the Honor and Remember flag. It stands for only one thing: every fallen man and woman, military, who gave their lives in the history of our country. I found out today that right behind me, or behind you in front of me, in the museum, one of these flags is prominently displayed. It stands as a public symbol, reminding us all that freedom comes at a price, and a way for us as a nation. You know, the veterans get it. Our active duty military get it. Our veterans, that's less than what, 2% of our population? I mean, from what I've heard in figures. There's 98% of our population who don't get it, and they don't know how to get it. And we hope by leaving this flag in our nation as that legacy, as that symbol, it's a way of educating them and a way of showing them how they can send a message back of appreciation. And very quickly, Christian, I'm going to share the symbolism of this flag, if I can. So we have the red field representing the sacrifice of bloodshed, American flag red. The white field represents the purity of that sacrifice, because every one of our men and women with a pure heart said to their families, "Don't worry, we got it covered. We'll be back." The blue star in the center goes back to World War I, when the families of those who were deployed would hang a colored blue star on a banner in their windows. And that meant that they had one or two or more service members who were out in the fight. When those loved ones did not come home, they overlaid that blue star with a gold star. Again, this started in World War I, and this is where we get the term Gold Star families. Many of those here on this base today are Blue Star families. Beneath that star is a folded flag. Why? Because every one of those families who were Gold Stars were handed a folded flag at the memorial of their loved one. This country was built, in my estimation, one folded flag at a time. The flames above it, an eternal reminder that we will never forget. And the words below, we will always honor their sacrifice and remember them individually by name. And this special flag was created and personalized for this run, where you can see it says America's military fallen and their families. Because those men and women aren't with us, right? They're not here for us to grieve over. They're not here for us to acknowledge. Basically, that grief is relegated to the families who are still here. And for those who are friends and comrades who lost their brothers and sisters. Thank you. I want to do something special at this moment, because the flag itself, I mentioned we're leaving as a legacy. That flag now has been adopted in 24 states as the state symbol of remembrance in those states. So our mission, obviously, is for all 50 states to recognize this flag and fly it in remembrance of their own military fallen that have come from their states. But the flag's more than just a symbol flying on a flagpole anywhere hanging in a museum. It's meant to recognize individually the names, right? Because they're not statistics. If you go to our RV later, you'll see we have the names of all 20,000. Every one of these men and women has a name. They're not a statistic. And they have a family who love them. And it is our job to make sure that they're not forgotten. So as an organization, we do something very special with the flag. And I would like, and I know I'm going to get this wrong, Esmeralda and Kenny to come up. This is the family of Carlos Gilarosco. Kenny, would you help me? I want you to hold this, but don't open it. I want to show everyone that, like what Ken is holding. Lift it up so they can see the front of it. There you go. Ken is holding a hand-sewn honor and remember flag. That flag is folded in a triangle because it mirrors the American flag that was handed to them at the loss of her husband and their father. This flag is folded in a triangle only one time because really a folded American flag to a Gold Star family is a reminder of death, of loss. It's very painful to see a folded flag. And it's unfortunate because folding the flag in a triangle is our protocol. And so every time the flag comes down, it's folded in a triangle. Everybody sees it differently. Gold Star families see it as death. It's very difficult. This flag is folded this way one time when it's presented. And after that, it is opened as a celebration of their life and not in memoriam of their loss. And so, Esmeralda, Kenny, Sienna, I'm going to read this certificate. You can open that. Just grab the red at the top. Just the red at the top. Just let it open. Maybe we can get somebody to help Augie. Okay. Ken, point it towards that Esmeralda. There you go. Thank you. This honor and remember flag is presented with eternal gratitude and respect in memory of Corporal Carlos E. Gilarosco. With this flag, we honor this patriot's unwavering dedication and remember his selfless sacrifice. By displaying the symbol collectively as a nation, we humbly recognize the enormity of your loss and respectfully say thank you. We honor Carlos today and your dad, Kenny, with this symbol of remembrance at Fort Irwin with all of those here who honor him, and we give you thanks for sacrifice.
Thank you.
I would like to ask Sue Pollard to come forward. Sue lost her son, Justin, in 2003, and we would like to honor her with this flag. And I meant to let Esmeralda come back up because I know you want to say something. I forgot all about that. Come back up, please. This honor and remember flag is presented with eternal gratitude and respect in memory of Specialist Justin W. Pollard. With this flag, we honor this patriot's unwavering dedication and remember his selfless sacrifice. By displaying this symbol collectively as a nation, we humbly recognize the enormity of your loss and respectfully say thank you. So I meant to ask the families to say a few words about their loved ones, so you got to learn a little bit about them. So I'm going to ask Sue to go first, if you'd like to.
I'm always honored to talk about my son, Justin, who enlisted on September 11th of 2001. Right after we were attacked, he went to the Army recruiting office and enlisted in the United States Army. God, I love you guys. He left for Iraq right after the Marines went in. He was stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado. He drove the Bradley over 5,000 miles without an incident. My son Justin was killed by friendly fire, which just goes to show that no matter what, the price is there to pay. And some know when their time has come. And my kid is my hero, and that's why I do the work and carry on and will never forget to say his name, Specialist Justin Pollard. Thank you.
I don't think I've ever spoken in front of anybody about my husband. It's 10 years and it's still emotional. But when we were attacked, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to join the Marines. proud about his brothers. He loved his life. He showed me to be strong. And I'm glad to have a piece of him to remind me always. And I thank everybody that does these things for the family, that allowed us to understand that they're not forgotten. Thank you. Thank you.
Already the story started. Even yet last night we were meeting with some of the soldiers, around the hotel, and some of them, macho, wanted to be strong, but had lost friends, had lost buddies, and had been holding it in because of the difficulty of accepting that, and then realizing what we were doing, and being able to say that name out loud, and being able to show them their buddy's name was being read out loud, and we're in the country, and having them just melt and go, oh my gosh, how amazing is this? The importance of this is yet to be determined, as families travel for thousands of miles. I'm not going to talk forever. We have an assemblyman here with us today who showed up a little bit late. It's okay. I'm going to give him an opportunity to introduce himself and to say a few words. You have something to read as well? No. Okay.
Hello everyone, I'm Jay Obernolte. I represent a large area of the Southern California desert, including Fort Irwin, in the California State Legislature. I'm here because this is a very important topic to me. And I want to tell you about something that changed my life last year. It was Memorial Day, and I was asked to give a Memorial Day speech, as we often are. And my staff had prepared a list of talking points for me, as they often do, and I walked up to the podium, and I couldn't stop thinking about a colleague of mine named Dante Acosta, who was elected to the legislature 2 years after me. And he sat very near me on the assembly floor, and he had a peculiar emblem on his lapel pin. And I remember asking him about a year and a half ago, what is that emblem? And he explained to me that he was a Gold Star father. His son was killed in Afghanistan by an IED. And he's a soft-spoken man I would have never guessed, except for that lapel pin. And that Memorial Day last year, I could not stop thinking about him. Because I have two sons. They're 19 and 17 right now, about the same age as his son was when he went to Afghanistan. And I couldn't stop thinking about what must that feel like. And the whole act of me standing up in front of a crowd on Memorial Day seemed so inadequate to represent the sacrifice that those families had gone through. And so I crumpled up the speech that I had, and I just talked about Dante, and I talked about the only way that we can honor the sacrifice that you have made is by saying a sincere thank you, and by honoring the memory of the loved ones that you have lost, and the ideals that they gave their lives so willingly for. And that's why I'm here today, is because I want to help you honor that memory. I'll be running with you tomorrow morning. I hope I can keep up. But I want to say from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of the California State Legislature, thank you very much for your sacrifice. And I want to say thank you for the effort that you are making to honor the sacrifice of our Gold Star families. And please let us know in the legislature if we can do anything to help you in that effort. But it's an honor for me to be here today.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to wrap this up. Protocol-wise, after this, we're all going to go over to the hotel, Landmark Inn, and just have a little social. We've got some sub sandwiches and stuff. Please come. If you were here, we also have a flag that we would like for you to sign. Okay, we're going to be carrying flags across America and getting people to sign them as we go. Runners, the general public, and our Gold Star families. So we want to make sure that you sign that flag, because this is an historic moment right now. What's going to happen tomorrow? Two things. We are going to meet at the Painted Rock. If you want to run at all tomorrow, then look for the RV It's going to be on the side of the road 1 mile before the Painted Rocks. We're going to be waiting there at 6 o'clock, okay? So if you're going to run the first mile, it's going to be a ceremonial mile. It doesn't matter. We're not going to run at any fast pace. We're just going to run the first mile all together at whatever pace that is, all right? We're going to meet at 6 o'clock. So look for that RV at 6 o'clock. When we get to the Painted Rocks, 1 mile, it'll be 1 mile to the Painted Rocks. We're going to have a little mini ceremony, not as long as what we've done here, a little mini ceremony. And then at 7, a little after 7, we're going to start the rest of the run, non-stop. Once the train leaves the station, we do not stop till the end of the day. So if you're going to run with us then we're running about 10 minutes a mile, 10 to 11 minutes a mile probably, all right? But we're running the ceremonial mile so that everyone who's waiting at the rocks will know what we're doing mile after mile across the country. You'll get an idea. You don't have to necessarily be there. Remember, I said it's going to be live, so you'll be able to watch it happening for different heroes. So if you're running, be at where the RV is at 6 o'clock. It'll be 1 mile from the Painted Rocks. If you're not running, I would be at the Painted Rocks by 6:30. If you get there by 7, it'll all be over. So get there at 6:30 if you're not running. And so we'll see you all in the morning, and we'll explain a little bit to the runners in the morning that come early. We'll explain what our protocol is, what our ceremony is. Every mile is a mini ceremony. So we will be conducting formal mini ceremonies every mile for 6,000 miles. And it's all going to be straight-laced. There's no slacking kind of schlumping. It's an organized ceremony. And everyone will be the same across the nation. And then every night, for those Gold Star families that are here, or even those, just to let you know, every night we stop, we're going to have a meal at either a VFW or an American Legion, and then we will reread the names of everyone we ran for that day. All right, so we'll read them at the mile, and then we'll reread them at the end of the day, so that families who may not have made it to the mile can hear their loved ones. And we're also doing something different. Anybody who lost anybody in any era in our country, if you are at a closing ceremony, we will read your friend or your loved one's name as well. So we will remember everyone that we possibly can as we cross the country. So I said it's about the war on terror, but not if there's a family member who lost a friend or who lost a family in any era, regardless. So keep that in mind as well. It's very, very, very comprehensive what we're doing. And I think that's all I've got. Well, you don't have to clap for me. I just want to say thank you to Fort Irwin. I mean, this has been an amazing, amazing experience. I mean, there should be 1,000 people in this park. I know there's, 50 or 60. But, the energy that's here, Ken and his just dynamic forthrightness in pulling this together and getting everybody organized and actually being part of the grandfather of this whole initial start. If I can put it that way. Appreciate that very much, and the hospitality of being here. So thank you. We hope that you do follow us across the nation, and we hope that some of your soldiers will be with us running somewhere across the nation, as well. So God bless everyone. I'm just going to close in prayer if that's okay. Lord God, we just thank you for this moment in time, for this historic minute, Lord, that we might from here launch the most amazing tribute trail across our nation to Arlington. We pray, Lord, that we will be able to touch every family that is with us and not able to be with us. That will we touch every veteran, and we will touch every citizen in America in a way that they have not been touched, in a realization that they have never had, and an appreciation that is a must for any citizen in this country. We thank you. We ask your blessing upon each of us, upon everyone we touch, upon everyone who sees us, and and for all the needs that we may have across the way, that they all be met in the time that they need to be, and that your hand will be upon us in all that we do and all that we accomplish. In your mighty name, amen. Good? Good. Landmark in. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I've talked to
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, wherever the RV is.
George, I'm sorry.
Okay, wait a minute. Hey, this is George Lutz signing off. Thanks for watching.
A lot of him on camera. Let's talk to